seat. Very, very tight. Alright. I'm gonna make sure it's actually in there. So, here, let me get the light. Make sure you understand. The shim has to fit inside, right there. It can't be sticking out. And it's a very, very tight fit. Everything in here is a very tight fit. Obviously, it's the inside of an engine. It looks like, it almost looks flat. So, but you can see they all have buckets. And I'm simply gonna bring my bucket back in. Just a little wipe off. Everything inside the motor must be as clean as possible. Oil is my third, obviously. And the shim bucket, same story. Very, very tight fit. Okay. I want to make sure it's all the way down, just like the others. Having a flush fit, just like the one next to it over. And I got my zip ties on there. If I had to remove the other camshaft, I can, with the zip ties, I can definitely roll them out in towards the middle, and they would still keep their spot. And I could have taken care of any other valves that are out of spec. But all I'm going to do now is simply put the camshaft back, down in whatever, and I'm going to reattach these guys. I'm actually going to go check the torque specs on these bolts on the internet before I completely reassemble it. But basically I'm going to torque these down on this side. I got them organized right here. And now I haven't changed any shims, so I'm going to skip the last step. But once it's all reassembled and fully torqued down, you have to remeasure any valves that you change the shims on, and make sure they are in spec now, because you can overshoot, you can undershoot, you can be a little off when you replace the shim. But since we're not replacing any shims, I don't really have a reason to remeasure them. So I'll probably measure a couple just to make sure everything is down and tight the way it should be. But if a couple of them measure right on each camshaft, well, actually the one I removed, these don't even matter. I haven't touched them. So I'll measure a couple just to make sure that the camshaft is fully down, fully seated and attached, and all of that. And then basically the entire process in reverse. There's no point in explaining. We're just gonna reassemble everything the same way, the same order we took it apart. So for example, the throttle body, when I'm putting it in, I'm gonna put the cable, the bottom cable, on first, because I know that once the throttle body is in, I won't be able to get that cable on, for the sake of completely emptying the coolant, because I have some non-aluminum safe coolant, just a little bit in there, and that's why I'm redoing my flush right now. Only way to empty the radiator on a bike, because the tubes aren't at the bottom, is to take the damn thing out. But I'm gonna take my chain brush, which is still clean when new, and I'm gonna clean the bugs out, and then I'll finally full-on reassembly. Radiator flush. You need to pump air through. That just all flew out of there, and the bottom drain plug is open, and that stuff isn't too clean down there, so we're really cleaning some shit up right now by blowing this through. As I reassemble, I want to put this out, especially on 1000cc. Valve springs are very strong. Like getting this down to get that side is nearly impossible. I can get those right there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this bolt and the one behind it in right now, so get that nice and seated, And then as I turn those bolts, I'll be able to get it low enough to get this other cam cap. But yeah, it is supposed to be hard to bring it down because I'm pushing on the valves right there where the lobes are down, and the valve springs are pretty serious. Valve adjustment, just reassemble and you're done.